Sometimes, it's the smallest acts of kindness that unlock the greatest changes in life. Watch until the end to see how a single returned keychain turned into something no one could have predicted. It was a rainy Tuesday morning in downtown Chicago, the kind where the sky looked like it had wept through the night and refused to stop. Streets shimmered with wet reflections, umbrellas bobbed like jellyfish over hurried pedestrians, and the cold wind blew in with a bite that turned fingers red and noses pink. People were rushing about, heads down, wrapped in their own worlds. Among them walked Sophia Bennett, a 26-year-old waitress juggling 2 part-time jobs and barely enough sleep. Her life was a blur of subway rides, double shifts, and cold leftovers. But what made Sophia special wasn't her struggle, it was her spirit. Despite everything, she remained kind. Not the performative, have a nice day, kind of polite, but genuinely kind. The kind that gave up a seat to an old man even if it meant standing for an hour. The kind that smiled at strangers because maybe, just maybe, it made their day better. That morning, she had been running late. The diner she worked at, Rosie's Kitchen, was short-staffed again, and she knew if she didn't make it on time, she might lose the only job that still offered her consistent hours. She darted through the sidewalk crowd like a salmon swimming upstream, hoodie soaked and shoes squeaking. And then it happened. At the corner of Lexington and 3rd, right beside the coffee shop with the steamy windows, she saw something glint on the wet pavement. A small, old leather keychain, shaped like a little brown bear, lay on the ground, almost invisible in the puddles. Something about it stopped her. It looked worn, as if it had a story. Not the kind you buy for decoration, but one that had been held onto for years. She paused, despite the rush. Bent down, picked it up. Keys jingled. A car key, a house key, a mailbox key. She could have easily kept walking. Everyone else did, but something about that bear. Maybe it reminded her of her younger brother, who had died 3 years ago in a car crash. He used to carry a similar one. Maybe it was just instinct. Either way, Sophia turned toward the nearest cafe and walked in, hoping to find the owner. Inside, the smell of fresh espresso and cinnamon hit her like a memory. She scanned the room. A few businesspeople tapping laptops, 2 college girls whispering over chai lattes, a tired mom rocking a stroller. And then, there he was. A man in his early 30s, disheveled hair, eyes scanning the floor in a panic, patting his coat pockets like a man who had just realized he'd lost something important. Sophia approached cautiously. "Excuse me, sir, did you lose something?" He looked up, eyes hopeful but guarded. "Yeah, a keychain. Brown bear. It's old, but it means a lot." She held it out without a word. His face crumbled. Relief washed over him like a tide. He took it with trembling hands, clutching it like a lifeline. "Oh my God, thank you. I didn't even know where I dropped it." Sophia smiled, shrugged. "It was just lying there. Lucky I noticed it." He looked at her for a long moment. I don't know what to say. "Thank you, really. My daughter gave this to me before she passed away. I've carried it every day for 5 years." Silence fell. Sophia's breath hitched. "I'm so sorry." He nodded slowly. "It's okay. Her name was Mia. She was 6. She gave me this little bear the day before. Anyway, thank you for giving it back." Most people wouldn't have bothered. Sophia didn't know what to say. So she smiled again, soft, sincere. "I'm glad I found it." The man, Ethan Blake, watched her walk away. She didn't ask for a reward. She didn't ask for his name. She didn't even ask for a coffee. Just kindness, given and gone. But fate wasn't done with them yet. That afternoon, Sophia's world continued on its exhausted track. Her manager at Rosie's yelled at her for being 5 minutes late, a customer complained about cold coffee, and by 4 p.m., her back ached from 12 hours on her feet. She didn't mention the keychain incident to anyone. It wasn't a story she expected to matter. But across town, in a sleek glass office on the 20th floor of a design firm, Ethan couldn't stop thinking about her. He had just been promoted to creative director at Blake plus Bloom, a growing architecture firm he helped co-found after his divorce. Life as a single dad was rough. His daughter Lily, 5 years old, was his entire world. His days were a carousel of preschool runs, late-night deadlines, and quiet grief for the daughter he lost before Lily was born, his first child, Mia. That bear keychain was Mia's. And the girl who returned it hadn't asked for anything. That humility, that warmth, shook him. In a world where everyone expected something in return, she expected nothing. That night, after tucking Lily into bed with a bedtime story and 2 kisses on her forehead, one from him, one from Mia, Ethan sat at his desk and opened his laptop. The cafe had cameras. He called the manager the next morning. Within an hour, he had Sophia's name from her credit card purchase, 1 medium black coffee, no cream. 2 more hours later, he had her employee record. Rosie's kitchen. He drove there during lunch break. Sophia was stunned to see him. She dropped a tray of mugs when he walked in. "You're here," she stammered. He smiled. "I wanted to thank you." Properly. She wiped her hands on her apron. "You already did. I didn't get your name." "Sophia." "Well, Sophia, would you let me buy you lunch? Just as a thank you." She hesitated. Sure." They sat at a small table by the window. The conversation flowed easier than either expected. He told her about Lily. About Mia. About how hard it was raising a daughter alone while still grieving another. She told him about losing her brother, about working 2 jobs to pay off student loans, about how the world felt too big and too lonely sometimes. It didn't feel like a date. It felt like 2 broken souls finding familiar ground in each other's stories. And yet, something had begun. In the days that followed, Ethan returned. First just to say hi. Then for coffee. Then for dinner. He invited her to meet Lily. Sophia hesitated. She didn't want to get close, not to a child who might get hurt if things went wrong. But when she did meet Lily, her heart melted. Lily was bright, funny, and had the same lopsided smile Mia had in Ethan's photos. She took to Sophia like magnets, finding each other, instant trust, unspoken connection. By the end of that month, Sophia had begun tutoring Lily on weekends. Reading stories, helping with art projects, baking cookies in Ethan's kitchen. And somewhere in that quiet rhythm of weekend visits, hand-packed lunches, and simple joy, Ethan realized something. Sophia hadn't just returned a keychain. She had brought something back to life. What if the person you helped was the one sent to heal you? Watch until the end to see how Sophia's life turned upside down, and how the keychain came full circle in a way that left everyone speechless. For the first time in years, Sophia felt something unfamiliar: peace. She had stopped expecting life to be kind. It had always felt like a cold hallway with doors that never opened. But now, with Ethan and Lily, things were different. She found herself humming on the train, smiling at the sky, and actually looking forward to weekends. The laughter of a 5-year-old echoing in her ears was something she didn't know she had missed until it became the highlight of her week. Ethan would cook dinner, sometimes burning the rice but always trying. Sophia would help Lily with her coloring books, and in those moments, surrounded by crayon-streaked paper and soft music, they looked like a family. But life doesn't give without testing. And Sophia's test came on a Thursday morning. She had just finished her shift at Rosie's and was walking toward the train station when she received a call from a number she hadn't seen in 4 years. She froze on the sidewalk. The number burned into her screen like a memory she had buried too deep. It was from a Verage correctional facility. A robotic voice said, "You have a call from an inmate. Press 1 to accept." Her thumb hovered over the button. She pressed 1. "Sophia," the voice cracked through the line. She went cold. "Dad." Silence. Then, "It's me. I'm getting out next week." William Bennett, once a promising mechanic, had spiraled into addiction after her brother's death. He lost his job, then his marriage, then himself. Sophia had cut him off after his 3rd arrest, for stealing her rent money to buy pills. He had been sentenced to 4 years in prison. And now, he was coming back. "I don't expect anything," his voice said quietly. "Just wanted you to know. I've been clean. I'm trying. I don't know where else to go." The call ended. Just like that, the past, ugly, broken, uninvited, had returned. Sophia stood there on the wet sidewalk, shaking. The warmth she had felt these past few months vanished under the weight of old pain. That night, Ethan noticed she was quieter. "Is something wrong?" he asked gently as they sat on the couch while Lily dozed off with her head in Sophia's lap. Sophia hesitated. Then she told him everything. About her dad. About how he used to take her and her brother fishing. About how, after the accident, he fell apart and started using. About the lies. The thefts. The nights she slept in shelters after being evicted. About the final straw, when he stole her college tuition to buy drugs. Ethan didn't flinch. He just sat there, listening. And then he said, "You don't have to decide tonight. But whatever you choose, if you let him in, or not, I'll support you." And that was when she knew she loved him. Not because he was perfect, but because he didn't run. A week later, Sophia met her father at a halfway house. He looked thinner, older, eyes full of guilt. "I'm not asking for your forgiveness," he said, wringing his hands. "I just wanted to say sorry. I wasn't there when you needed me. And if you never speak to me again, I understand. But I had to try." She didn't speak for a while. Then, with tears in her eyes, she whispered, "You don't get to just walk back in. But if you stay clean, if you really mean it, maybe we can try." He cried, hard, and for the first time in a long time, Sophia didn't feel like that broken girl left behind by everyone she trusted. She felt like someone rebuilding something that had once seemed unfixable. Back at Ethan's apartment, life moved forward. Days turned into weeks. Lily grew attached to Sophia in ways that Ethan hadn't expected. She asked for her at bedtime, drew pictures of Miss Sophia, with stick figures holding hands, and even started calling her Mama Sophia, by accident. The first time it happened, Ethan froze. Sophia smiled and gently corrected her, but inside, her heart cracked and bloomed all at once. Could she be a mother figure? Could she be part of this little world permanently? She didn't dare ask, until one night, Ethan did. They were watching old home videos of Mia, a ritual Ethan had kept private until now. It was quiet, intimate, painful. "I never thought I could feel something again," he said. "After Mia died, I stopped believing in second chances." He paused the video. The screen froze on Mia's laugh. "But then you returned that keychain. And everything changed." Sophia looked at the little bear, now hanging above Lily's bed. "I didn't do anything special," she whispered. "You did everything," he replied. Then he got on one knee, pulled out a small velvet box. And inside it, alongside the ring, was something else. The bear keychain, cleaned, polished, treated like a treasure. He said, "This was Mia's. You brought it back when you had no idea who I was. Just like you brought me back to life without even knowing. Sophia Bennett, will you marry me and help me raise my daughter in a home built on love and kindness?" She sobbed, not because she expected this, but because somewhere in the pain of her past, she never thought someone would choose her for their future. "Yes," she said, her voice breaking, 1,000 times yes. The wedding was small. Lily wore a white dress with sunflowers in her hair. Sophia's father walked her down the aisle, sober, grateful, trembling with emotion. Ethan cried when he saw her. Lily gave them both plastic rings she'd made from cereal box toys and called it a backup in case the fancy ones break. And the bear keychain, it hung in a glass frame near the altar with a little plaque. "Sometimes the smallest things lead to the biggest blessings." And now, dear viewers, ask yourself, what would you do if you found a keychain lying on the ground? Would you pick it up, brush it off, and keep walking? Or would you return it without expecting anything in return? Because sometimes, the moment you give without asking, is the moment your entire story begins. If this story touched your heart, please like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories that prove kindness still exists in this world. You never know whose life you might change, or who might change yours. Heart.